All right, got a brand new machine here. Went and picked it up yesterday, and pretty excited about this. I've done a decent amount of stuff already, and stuff that I want to do next. But the big thing is I went through and put anywhere where hoses were rubbing. This was a big one here. Right here, this hose had, I don't know how many, the hour meter was unplugged, but there was, it's a brand new machine. Couldn't have been even 1 hour on it. But this this was rubbing against here, and that hose was cut. I mean, not all the way through, but obviously, but it was it had a big cut in it already. So loosened that up, moved it over a touch, and then put that on there. Put all these on there. These are touching the swing motor. Anywhere where hoses were kind of rubbing something hard or close to rubbing something hard, and then in here, I took garden hose. I would like to do the top of this with that garden hose, but man, it's hard to get down in there. I don't know how good you can see that, but I put regular garden hose on the edge of that steel. I didn't get one on the bottom, but I got side hoses. See them green side hoses? That'll help. And then I put some of this corrugated stuff. On the bottom hoses. I slipped it in. It seemed to work out good. I slipped it in through here, and I put some more there, even though these are protected, and then just worked its way up there. Working on greasing everything. I'm gonna put this on probably today. Hopefully it works out. And there's quite a bit of slop in here, so I found these washers that I had, and I think I'm gonna put them in there. And this, I believe this is not gonna fit. See, that ain't gonna fit in there, so I'm gonna have to cut this so it's able to fit in there, which isn't a big deal. Wish I didn't have to do it, but it is what it is. That's what's nice about these machines, is if this was a brand new $50,000 Kubota, you wouldn't want to cut that. You'd be another 3, 4, 5 days taking it back to the company, and you'd get the right part, but it's you wouldn't want to do this kind of work. You shouldn't expect to do this kind of work, putting these guards on these hoses on a $50,000 machine. So I noticed that the swing motor really needs a cushion valve. Just from the get-go, I could tell the other movements were pretty smooth, because I think they kind of got a cushion valve right there. I think that's what that is for, like, kind of the other system. And I don't know why they couldn't have put it on the swing motor, but it's a real herky-jerky on the swing. I put blue Loctite on those two nuts. I gotta do the other ones there and back, and we'll see if that holds. I'm going to let me move you around the front here. I'm gonna take this floor pan, and this goes on But then it covers this up, so you gotta like take everything and, so I'm gonna cut this out, I think. And then I think I'm gonna drill and tap like another bolt, because there's one there and one there. Put another one here. And that way I can leave the top on and not have to take it on and off every time I want in here. I want fairly quick access to this in here. No, not every time, but be nice to get to the battery if you need to. Probably have to take this off if you're getting to the battery anyways, but the hydraulic tank, clean that out. I cleaned that out, and there was just some light sediment in the bottom. I couldn't get my hand in there. My forearm wouldn't fit down in there all the way to the bottom, but I put more oil in there, and I gotta go get more. It's not quite up there. So, and then I rotated this because that wouldn't fit on there. But looking at it now, I don't think I'm putting that back on. I think I'm just gonna leave it just like that and let this get more air. It would just be slightly heating it up more if that was on. So I think I'll leave that off. We'll see. And the back, for sure, I'm now leaving off. I'm not gonna put this back cover back on to let the heat stay out. That's a big trouble with these is the heat I've been hearing. Probably take this off because this don't need to be sticking out that far then. And I'm not gonna put a heat blanket on here. I see a lot of people do that. I personally don't think it's that great of an idea. You're like holding heat in. I get the concept. You're trying to like hold the heat in to force the heat out here, to force it out. But this stuff is, in my opinion, this is made to like release the heat. So I'm not gonna do it. I'm leaving this back end open for now. I may get a fan later. I have on order with Bill Silva is a hydraulic cooler and filter. I see a lot of people put them in there facing this way. And I'm gonna see if I'm able to mount it on this side facing this way. And because I want to be able to open that cover and not have to take everything apart. That's one reason. The second reason is I'm thinking is when this unit is in here and the fan is on the back side, I would like to blow through this out this way, so I know it's not sucking any air in or anything because this is all open, but it would be blowing past the muffler. And that just kind of makes sense to me to get that out farther. So I went through here, all in here, put these hoses on. I got more hoses here. More hoses there. These things are cheap, and you can't, in my opinion, you can't just get these and run them. You're gonna have problems. I would have had problems right off the get-go. That's why you're paying $45,000 less, because you got to do some of the work yourself. Like that right there. That would have blown in the first day, almost guaranteed. And then that would have been that's a huge pain to replace all them hoses, which someday you may have to, but God, you wouldn't want to do it right away. So that's kind of changed the oil. I put a little tail thing on the oil because that's a pain in the butt. It leaked all over. I wanted to do that right away. That's what that blue hose is. That blue hose just goes there, and I can put it down, drain it next time. This is what I used. I don't know if this is the correct stuff to use or not, but this is what I use in my Kubota right there. And it's I think it's basically kind of the best diesel stuff that you can get. I know this isn't a diesel. It's got more detergents in it, but it'd be really good in cold. And I mean, the 40, it's probably not as thick as 1540, which I'll mostly be running in the summer, but I think this will run cool enough with this back panel out, and that's really good oil. So it doesn't take much. Didn't take much at all. I don't know how much, probably not even a quarter of this. So probably took, if I had to guess, a little over a quart. But I just kind of want to keep things simple. You know, my two stuff with hydraulics, I'll run this. I got a different oil for that. I got a different oil for my truck, and it's like, geez, you know, I don't want to stock 3 different oils, you know, 4 different oils. If I can just stock 2 different oils, that's good for me. So I don't know. Let me know your thoughts on that. The seat, I don't see a problem really with the seat. It adjusts. And I was possibly going to, and I might do this later. I don't have a ton of time to really do all the specifics and stuff, but I may take on that bottom, I may put like a rubber piece between here and there just to take some of the shock out. And I don't know about putting a seatbelt on or not. I almost feel like if I fall, I'd want to fall off and away from the machine. That's just kind of my initial feeling. I was going to put some tire underneath of this for the shock, but I may put, I don't want to stress out these, if that might stress out those. So I think if I do something, it'll be a little bit of rubber, like I said, right under there, and there's room for a little bit of play. This seat's actually, I mean, it's kind of pretty cushy, and I know some people take and put all kinds of fancy seats on them and stuff, but man, if I have to sit in here for more than 4 hours at a time, or two hours at a time, I mean, I'm not doing that. It's even hard for me to ride in a car for 2 hours. I can't do that. So I would imagine the longest I'd ever be on the seats, maybe an hour at a time before I'm taking a break. That's just me. So, but yeah, it's a nice little machine. I super excited about it. and ready to get it in working condition. If you got any tips or tricks or anything, I'd like to hear them. And thanks for watching Life Practical.